This is TechVibe Radio, your front row seat to Pittsburgh's technology and innovation ecosystem. TechVibe is brought to you by Compunetics at Compunetics.com, Chorus Call at ChorusCall.com, Highmark at Highmark.com, Huntington Bank at Huntington.com, Kindling at TheKindlingAgency.com, PNC Bank at PNC.com, and Savier at Savier.com. Here are your hosts, Audrey Russo and Jonathan Kersting of the Pittsburgh Technology Council, coming at you from the Huntington Bank Studios. Good morning and welcome to Tech Vibe Radio. It's your front row seat to Pittsburgh's technology and innovation ecosystem. And Audrey, this morning I am so excited because we are taking Tech Vibe over the state line, because today we are welcoming Alex Reneman of Mountain Leverage, and they are based out of Grafton, West Virginia. And so, Audrey, if you don't know Mountain Leverage, they are a supply chain industry leader in developing and deploying workflow optimization solutions for distributors, manufacturers, retailers, warehousing, all the good stuff. It's hands-free, eyes-free voice picking automation. It's shaving costs. It's creating better employee experiences, and it offers businesses scalability in their fulfillment operations. And it does this all through enhanced order accuracy, labor productivity, software flexibility, and worker safety. It's a lot of cool stuff, and I am excited to dig into it today and learn about what's going on there, because rumor has it Mountain Leverage has people working in Pittsburgh, actually around the world. So we're really excited to have Alex step up and hang out with us today.
Give us a little bit of the history, because you've been around for, you said, 2 decades.
Yeah, so last year's our 20th year, and I stumbled into this technology, and in seeing it, I was like, whoa, this is cool. I can build a business around this. Now, again, this was 20 years ago. Now it might not look so cool on the outset because we have so many voice assistants and all that stuff. But back in the day, when you could think about a voice system being able to help you through the work in a warehouse or manufacturing plant or whatever it is, it was a cool notion, and it's really we've been able to make some great benefits and outcomes for customers across the world, candidly.
And so what was the problem that you saw back then, and what's the problem today?
Yeah, it's funny. It's still there, and it changes obviously as labor has changed in warehousing. But there's the actual tactical side of this, where safety, of course, is always there. But hands-free and eyes-free allows the worker to focus on the work instead of a device, and they're able to kind of be paced through the work and be able to ask questions and all those things. So it is more accurate, and it is more productive, and it is safer. But what we've also found from a corporation standpoint, organization, is they're able to actually you ebb and flow and evolve with the different challenges that are coming into their business, whether a customer's asking them to do something different in how they're shipping or whatever else. Instead of a system that's hard to maneuver around, voice is very, very nimble, and it allows them to change with the times.
That's so exciting. So who are your customers?
Everybody used it. If a product is coming across, you open up your fridge, you open up your closet, you look in your house, pretty much every goods you have is likely run across a system that we've either been involved in, called in to help on, or built. And yes, it's just the main backlog. It's funny, over the years, nobody ever really understood what we did until COVID hit, and everybody was paying attention to distribution. And all of a sudden it's, hey, supply chain distribution, we get it. And so it's kind of cool. It's been a moment where people get it when you talk about, okay, we help those no-name companies and some of the big brands as well get the stuff from the warehouse and to your house, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So what about the people who use these tools? Like, talk about how it's changed their lives and their work.
That's one of my favorite parts about this, because it is, I mentioned customers really love this stuff because the organizations can save tons of money. So that's great. So you always want to be able to do something like that. However, the bonus for us, I'm really interested in worker satisfaction and our employee satisfaction, all of that. And this technology is fantastic because the worker satisfaction rates are so much higher than many other technologies in the warehouse. So it goes cross-generational for folks that are maybe of an earlier generation that want more open space and a little more engagement, to just, hey, here's the overall work, go get after it. And they don't have to deal with a highly complicated piece of technology. It serves for that. and the younger generation that's a little more, task by task directed and want that kind of engagement and the reinforcement of positivity of how things are going in the day. We solve that as well. So it really does impact the worker on the floor, and that's a tough job. And it's a thankless job in many cases, and lots of speed. And so it's really kind of a cool way to be able to bridge both of those gaps.
And safety. You've really impacted safety in the workforce, I would imagine, right?
It has. I don't know if we've ever had a customer say this is exactly why we're buying it, but many times, I mean, you think about it, a warehouse, you got folks driving fork trucks around and everything else. And if you walk in any warehouse, you see dents along the shelving and everything else. You can
Oh,
go
I know.
online and see disaster videos of stuff falling down. So it happens. Think texting and driving, right? You don't want people looking at a device and driving a fork truck or whatever. And so in this case, the hands are free, eyes are free, and the eyes are free, attention is free. And where your attention goes, the energy flows. And this kind of solution really helps in that way.
So did you work in this field? Were you doing any forklift or any kind of maneuvering in logistics?
Yeah, it's interesting. No, not really. So I did. So when I worked at Deloitte out of college, and I was able to it was a great experience. I was able to get a lot of different experience across the spectrum, and some of that was in distribution, manufacturing, and those things. But ultimately, really, this was a moment we just stumbled into this technology, said this is cool, and we began learning more about distribution. We hired more people, and we just grew the company around that. And along the way, we became distribution experts and workflow experts and all that in between, and certainly the voice side. So it's been kind of a neat path, really.
And so your customers, are they located everywhere? You don't have to give us the name of your customers, but are they located everywhere and they're all shapes and sizes?
Absolutely. It's all over the world. There are pockets of distribution, Memphis and areas like that you think about, like, oh, that's distribution. Of course, there's a bunch there, but really it's all over. It goes from Fortune 100 size companies to small distribution, regional retailers or regional distributors that are moving ice cream or milk or nuts and bolts for your auto parts store. There's just all kinds of folks across that distribution spectrum.
Yeah. What I think is so interesting about your technology is the fact that it's working silently. It's behind the scenes, but it's doing such an important task. As you mentioned, COVID brought so much of this out because of the supply chain logistics, and just knowing that these warehouses are able to function, get the goods out the door in a timely fashion, keep the workers moving and keeping them safe and keeping them,
Well, COVID,
yeah,
people were essentially, anesthetized in terms of understanding how things got to themselves.
exactly.
They didn't
Exactly.
understand. And when you have this logger jams, people are like, what?
Why is this happening?
Why is this happening? It's not
Exactly.
just at the dock.
Right.
It's just
Exactly.
like that last mile.
But I get excited to see one of our member companies here, Audrey, who has this technology that was allowing those logger jams to break because they were able to keep those warehouses operating efficiently.
So what about artificial intelligence? What's going on in your world?
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Artificial intelligence is I mean, it's hitting everywhere, and it's going to be. This reminds me of when the internet was rolling around in the late '90s. It's like this is going to be unavoidable.
Was it the internet?
It's going to be unavoidable, and it's going to impact every industry in all of our lives. And we embrace it and find a good way, I think. And where we see it is it's a fantastic tool for assessing what's going on in an operation, being able to predict what's happening, get those long reams of data, and be able to help make decisions, and even build workflows. So it's a really exciting time actually to be in this industry, because what it does for us is really bring even more value to the customer base. Candidly.
Wow. This sounds like a great place for us to take a break. We can come back and talk a little bit more about obviously how AI is driving what you guys do. And in case you just joined us, we're talking to Alex Reneman of Mountain Leverage. Go to mountainleverage.com. We are super stoked that you're from Grafton, West Virginia, just a couple hours south of Pittsburgh here, building really important technology that keeps our warehouses flowing and going. We'll be right back after this quick break. This is Jonathan Kersting.
And this is Audrey Russo.
Audrey, keep checking it. We're still there. Pittsburgh Technology Council, pghtech.org. Hang on tight. We'll be right back after this quick break.
The Pittsburgh Technology Council has been helping our region's tech companies succeed since 1983. The Pittsburgh Technology Council helps its members meet new customers, hire top talent, make headlines, and have a strong voice in government. From startup to multinational, the PTC helps tech companies and advanced manufacturers of all sizes. See how we can help your venture grow at pghtech.org. That's pghtech.org.
A strong work culture is the invisible force that binds employees to each other, to the company, and to their work. It's linked to better business outcomes, happier employees, and increased retention. How we work and where we work continue to evolve in almost every way, yet our human need for connection and purpose remains. Help your employees connect and thrive by evolving your culture to support your team, regardless of how or where they work. So discover how the Kindling Culture Agency can transform your company's culture at sparkssomethingbig.com. That's the Kindling Culture Agency at sparkssomethingbig.com.
Compunetics is the leading developer of unified voice, video, and data collaboration and conferencing applications for the service provider, government, and unique workflow applications. The Summit Olympus and Evergreen platforms, driven by their encrypted user interfaces, enable powerful and secure collaboration. Combined with world-class support and innovative professional services, Compunetics delivers the right solution every time. Learn more at compunetics.com. Your dial is set to TechVibe Radio, brought to you by Compunetics, Chorus Call, Highmark, Huntington Bank, Kindling, PNC Bank, and Xavier. Here are your hosts, Audrey Russo and Jonathan Kersting of the Pittsburgh Technology Council, coming at you from the Huntington Bank studios.
Audrey, we're having too much fun here on a Sunday morning. We have awesome guests hanging out with us today. Alex Reneman of Mountain Leverage. Mountain Leverage is a supply chain industry leader. They develop and deploy workflow optimization solutions for distributors, manufacturers, retail, warehouses. It's all hands-free, eyes-free. Doing this for 20 years, based out of Grafton, West Virginia. But you have people working everywhere, which we think is so cool. Pittsburgh.
I love
You even said New Zealand for crying out loud.
I know, and we've been remote for 20 years.
That's right. Yep. Remote from day one. I needed people and I couldn't find them in my neighborhood. So I had to go elsewhere to get them. And there we go.
So before we jump into some deep tech conversations, tell me, how do you keep a culture of 70 to 80 people that are remote?
Yeah, that's tough. I'll tell you, when COVID hit and everybody had to go remote, I almost thought, I should probably write a book and share this out.
You should have written a book.
Situation. We've been doing it before the tools were there. And, obviously COVID was terrible and all that, but a silver lining was a lot of these video tools, they improved. And so we were able to do even better. But I think that's one of the biggest challenges. So training people and inculcating them into the culture and all of that. So early on, and I'd say we were almost midway, really figured out we had to codify our culture. When we were small, you could have conversations, you can engage, you can do things and get it. But really, we had to really lay out what our culture was. And so culture is the most important thing for me and our company, because it not only impacts who we are and how we're treated, but it impacts how we engage our customers and how we engage partners, how we engage the world as a whole. So I think, we really revisit our culture constantly. We talk about it all the time, and it's not just words on a wall. It matters. It's how we behave. We're calling out things for one another. We champion one another. I mean, we got our pact. It's our promise. And it's our promise to customers, it's our promise to partners, and all stakeholders and our employees. And that's the P is possibility. So we look at what can we do? How can we do it? Not we can't, right? The A is accountability. That balances the other side. We got to make sure it makes sense. If there's no margin, there's no mission. And we got to make sure we're doing what we say we're going to do. And the C is championship, where we're lifting one another's up. True champions lift those around them on the field. And then T is trust. I mean, that wraps it all together. And so that really is our context at Mountain Leverage. And when we engage anyone, they should feel that. They should feel that environment. And that if you just kind of let that stuff go, it's so easy for a company to set apart, whether they're sitting in the same room or they're all across the world like we are.
But isn't it funny how many people say that you can't perpetuate a culture that's that cohesive when you're not in the same room together? And you're saying, not true.
Alex proves them wrong. Getting results in 20 years doing this, I mean, that's pretty amazing.
You have to be smiling as people are saying remote, back to the office, pay.
I haven't been keeping receipts, but the amount of people who've told me you can't do this, you can't do that, and we were here 20 years later doing it, and I'm just, but and we try not to be smug about it, because it's a challenge and it's not for the faint of heart, but it certainly can work.
Okay, well, let's switch gears for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, before we left break, we were really excited because the idea of how much AI that you're embracing and the idea of how we need to automate so many of these facilities, just because, workers are being stressed out, or you can't get enough workers. So you got to get efficiency there so we can all get our stuff. As we mentioned, we found in COVID when stuff couldn't be delivered is a problem. And you guys make sure the
That's right.
stuff is in the warehouse is being managed properly. And this is like, I mean, it maybe sounds a little crude, but I like saying that like what you're doing is kind of like this gateway drug to like full blown like robotic or full blown automation. And I think we need to take these steps towards full automation because we can't just jump into a workspace that's just completely, automated. We need to keep the people along with it. And how you do that, I think, is just perfect. I mean, it is that thing where people can get the first taste.
Yeah, I love it. I think, marketing might steal that from me. Maybe it'll be a marketing campaign on a gateway drug for automation. We've many times said,
It's credit
Yeah.
for that.
we'll have to do that. Asterisk down there, a little copyright. So, I say you're on the path to automation, right? And so any little thing you do can be considered automation, but ultimately there's robots like Roombas running around the floor carrying product. There's robotic arms that are coming together. There's full humanoid robots. Now, those aren't going to be a fit for majority of the market right now, and maybe for the foreseeable future, but everybody's struggling with the labor, to your point. And I think what we able to offer our customers is not only, okay, how can we make your current labor more efficient and make it an attractive workplace for them, but how can we also set you up for the automation that you're going to want to take on next? And so a lot of companies just they don't have the readiness for this. They can be excited about robotics, but man, their operation just isn't ready to handle that. And that's where we can come in. We can get them the savings today and also get them the readiness over time that they're going to be ready for that next step of automation.
I love the fire in your pitch. I love that.
It's that, Audrey.
Doing it for 20 years and you still see the big upside
Got the passion, man.
and the passion. Is really cool.
I don't know. I mean, it's exciting. I always love solving problems, and I love hanging out with cool people. And we just built a company full of cool people and start solving problems. And you know what? This industry is full of good people. Yeah, there's some turds here or there, but generally it's really great people. And I love that. And so if we can come help somebody make their life a little easier, make their company a little profitable, get the products in the right products at the right time to the right people, all that stuff's really cool. So it is exciting, candidly.
Well, what's also cool is the fact, and I know we mentioned this offline, is about, safe environments and people doing repetitive work in a very different way, right? So you're able to take, quote unquote, the load off of them in many of these jobs.
It's true. Our purpose is life elevated peak performance, and that the peak performance side is the easy side that I think a lot of companies like us that look like us and sound like us do. They're trying to make somebody run better and they can run a better business and all that. And that's really important. That's exciting. And our guys geek out about that. But the life elevated piece is just as important. It balances it out. And so it's life elevated for our employees for certain. And we focus on that. But it's also, to your point, that worker on the floor, that job is going to be easier to them. It's to their customers. It's to their communities. When they go home at night, they're not exhausted. They go home and they're better in their communities or their families. And so it's a network effect of flourishment that we just we really love. It's a part of our model.
Love that. So if there's anything that you want people to take away from this conversation that we have, what are your key takeaways?
Boy, that's a great question. I think if you're certainly in the industry, if you're in distribution, hey, probably give us a call. We can help you out. That's true. Right? But I think there's another thing for budding entrepreneurs or people running companies or teams or anything. You can do it the right way. It sometimes is harder and it might take longer or whatever, but it's more fulfilling and more rich. And you can do it the right way by spreading that flourishment throughout the communities that you're in and the networked communities that you're a part of. And I think that network effect, we miss that sometimes today when we're treating each other one way or another in organizations. That works out too. So I think you can do it. You can be a human and a business person at the same time. You can engage with a company and a partner and treat them like they're good people. It all can play out.
I just find this so much fun.
Mhm.
And we think your passion is kind of contagious here. And we really appreciate your blast of positive vibes here on a Sunday morning. I'm just curious. We always like getting a little bit of advice just before we roll out of here today. It's like, you've done a heavy lift here and you've done it running a remote company. I mean, if you had any mentors along the way that have helped you or they've given you key advice, maybe you'd like to give to the next generation of an entrepreneur out there looking to build a company in not just Pittsburgh, but even in West Virginia, where you're building your company in Grafton?
Yeah, I'll tell you, that's a great question. And advice is always dangerous and I'm always hesitant to give it, but there are so many mentors and so many resources along the way. And now there's just so much information for anybody. I would say, for me, it's focusing on flourishment. When I focus on flourishment as a baseline for anybody I'm engaging with, whether it's a competitor or it's a customer or a partner or my employees or anybody. When I'm focusing on flourishment, I end up getting to the right outcome. And as opposed to running some kind of scheme or trick or these next 5 things or whatever else that you see online, that stuff will just distract you. Focus on flourishment and the rest works its way out.
These are some great
Flourish.
words. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great stuff.
Thank you.
Great hanging with you. Thank you for the
No,
time.
likewise. You guys are great. I love this. This was a lot of fun.
Good, fun stuff. Great way to start my Sunday morning off, Audrey. We had Alex Reneman here from Mountain Leverage. Go to mountainleverage.com. Check them out. If you got a warehouse, you're looking to automate, this is a good first step. Dare I say, gateway, dare I say, Audrey, too much fun. If you want more conversations like this, keep tuning in every Sunday. We're giving you a front row seat to all the great stuff happening here in Pittsburgh and West Virginia's tech sector. Simple as that. This is Jonathan Kersting.
And this is Audrey Russo.
Keep saying it, Audrey. We're from the Pittsburgh Technology Council, pghtech.org. Have an awesome Sunday, everybody.
Thanks for geeking out with us on TechVibe Radio. Tune in next Sunday for more tech and innovation stories right here from Pittsburgh. TechVibe is brought to you by Compunetics at Compunetics.com, Chorus Call at ChorusCall.com, Highmark at Highmark.com, Huntington Bank at Huntington.com, Kindling at TheKindlingAgency.com, PNC Bank at PNC.com, and Savior at Savior.com. And we're always coming at you from the Huntington Bank Studio.